Firstly, I think Ritesh, Umang, Tarun, and Dharmil, thanks so much for being part of this. We've obviously interacted so much, and for a change, it's nice to be on the other side of the table where I can ask you guys questions. So I have a good list. I'll probably kickstart, but I think my first point, a couple of points that we wanted to cover today is around, I think we want to keep this very future looking, so let's, obviously COVID has come and hit different sectors differently, and I think the objective of this report is to look at how the future will sort of evolve. I think the first question that I want to start with, and maybe I think Ritesh, if I sort of jump to you, I think you guys obviously operate in a sector that is a combination of a lot of sectors. There is budget, there is premium, there is homestays, there is sort of, now you're into co-living, student living, etc. So I think my question to start off with you is, how do you think these sectors will come back, to pre-COVID levels? And are you seeing any sort of underlying or fundamental behavioral changes of consumers, right, that will sort of continue to remain and maybe sort of hit positively or negatively to the sector?
Sure, thank you for having me here again, Ariman. I will try to be as concise as possible. To begin with, I think clearly what we are seeing here is that, as per your document as well, that hospitality was among the first to get heavily impacted. I can't think of sectors beyond probably aviation and multiplexes that were probably as impacted as that of ours. But that said, as you mentioned, we should be futuristic in our thoughts and comments. So let me attempt to do that. I think there is, and we are running lots of sessions speaking to our customers. So almost thousands of our team members are speaking to a few customers almost every day, including myself and a few of our partners every day. We're running small town halls with both consumer side and our partner side and understanding more. What we're seeing in the times to come are a very interesting group of things. So in the initial term, there is definitely a lot of worry of being infected, specifically in India. But depending on how different countries' national sentiments are among people in those countries as well. And due to that, consumers expect significant more sense of safety and security investments. Think about it as a little bit of what you may have seen in the same form of home deliveries, like Tarun was mentioning earlier, where people sort of consider that the new supply chain is this, right? In the same way, people are expecting safety and security to be table stakes. Second interesting thing that we're seeing is density is clearly at question, which means large hotels, heavily populated hostels are places where consumers are more afraid from traveling versus that of homes, which is the homestays equivalent accommodations. We're seeing our occupancies there hold up a lot more. We're seeing a significant amount more occupancy in smaller hotels rather than larger hotels, and trends of that nature. Third is in terms of geographies. That's an interesting area which I will hazard again some of the initial data points I'm seeing, is that we're seeing recovery come in developed geographies quicker than that of emerging geographies. The primary reason being because the healthcare system being so much more better off in well-run geographies, it has enabled people's ability to be confident in getting out, because they know that if there are any challenges, they have a fantastic healthcare system to back it up. Whereas in emerging markets, that's an issue, as you may have seen from some of the Latin American geographies and the impact that they have faced in terms of businesses nationally. In the longer term, I believe that travel and hospitality will absolutely come back. Like Tarun was mentioning, longer term, people fundamentally do change trends. We see that there is actually an opportunity of market share growth there, because we're seeing more hotels sign up. We signed probably 84,000 rooms in last 60 days because more assets are joining us than ever before, because they see that we're able to bring liquidity for them in these times as well. We are seeing a strong path towards especially markets, again, the area of healthcare system. For example, in Denmark, we are seeing that the demand be a lot more than pre-COVID times as well, but being significant shift from hotels to homestays in general. In terms of our other businesses, I think co-living is an area which is not seen a lot of drop, but it's also not seen a lot of growth, because it saw some addition by means of market share swinging from unorganized to organized. but it also saw some drop because some people don't want to live in urban cities and are going to small towns to live with their parents, because they feel it's still work from home, so I might as well work from home and not have to spend the rents. Student housing truly is an opportunity that I have seen, especially the enterprise-backed student housing transactions. There has been very, very strong ramp in terms of new contracts being awarded over the last few weeks. So I feel that's a business that has truly proven to be sustainable and sturdy in these times, and will probably remain in the times to come, in spite of a lot of education moving to Zoom. So that's sort of in summary, few things that we are seeing.